Honorable Minister's Office of Poland, our ambassador in Poland, accredited to this country on a non-residential basis, Ambassador Titi, the President of Elias, Honorable Nyama, Member of Parliament, Poland, our Honorary Consul, His Excellency Bruce Kiewicz, the Zambian delegation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, before I make the presentation, I would like to convey to you the apologies of our Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Honorable Bob Sichinga, who, as many of you would know, was supposed to have led the Zambian delegation to this important forum. Unfortunately, at this time of the year, we had just had the President open our Parliament in Lusaka, and also we had the Minister of Finance present the budget 2 weeks later. So at this time, Your Excellencies, the Zambian Parliament is very busy discussing the President's opening speech to Parliament and also debating the budget. And so please accept the apologies of our Minister for not being here today. He was really looking forward to this event. I'd like to thank our own ambassador, Ambassador Chiti, for the outstanding arrangements that he made, first of all in Berlin. I was in Berlin a week ago, and we had an equally successful forum, such as this one. And this morning, I see that our ambassador has not dropped his standards at all, and I see an equally well-attended and distinguished participation of luminaries and outstanding participants of the Polish economy. I want to thank our Honorary Consul, His Excellency Bruce Kiewicz. He hasn't formally taken up his office, but as far as we are concerned, he's our Honorary Consul. And I want to thank him for the warm welcome that he has extended to us, and also for making us so comfortable since we arrived. We really feel at home away from home. I know that members of our delegation have been introduced, notably the representative of the Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines Investment Holdings, Ms. Chanda, who was introduced earlier, the managing director of our own Zambia National Tourist Board, Mr. Chaila, was also introduced, my team from ZDA, but I don't think we introduced, and I want to recognize, because they're an important part of my delegation, members of the private sector from Zambia. I know that we do have a number of colleagues from the private sector in the room. Some are sitting here and elsewhere. I want you to know that they're an important part of this delegation and the deliberations that we are going to hold. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a few minutes ago, my colleague, the President of PAIS, and myself, in the presence of our ambassador and other distinguished witnesses, have signed an MOU. I want to say that I consider this to be a groundbreaking occasion. I consider it to be a groundbreaking occasion because it should open the way to greater economic cooperation between Poland and Zambia. There is so much between us, so much potential to hold hands more strongly. But up to now, I am not satisfied that we have really actualized our full potentiality. And I'm confident that the signing of that agreement will now open the way to greater cooperation between our two sister countries. And let me tell you why I say so. Because I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to show you why I believe that Zambia and Poland are ready to move into the next level of our cooperation. Let me see if I can find the presentation on my little machine here. Technological challenges. But here it is, it's coming. I think it's on its way. On to Poland. There we go. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have called this presentation Zambia, Africa's new economic frontier. And it's very much in keeping with your logo there, which says to Polish industry, go Africa. And before you can get to Africa, first you must go to Zambia. So I want to show you what Zambia has to offer. First of all, I will, just to remind you, just in case your geography is not so good, I want to show you where Zambia is and why we occupy such a pivotal position on the African continent. And then I want to talk about our political and economic performance. Over the years, you heard both the President and our Ambassador mentioning that on Thursday, we actually clocked 50 years of being a sovereign nation. And we've done a lot in that 50 years. Then I want to introduce you to some of the investment opportunities that exist in our country. I want to talk about some incentives that are available to you. And in case the message hasn't got home, I want to finish off by telling you why you should invest in Zambia. I'll tell you something about ZA. Here's where we are located. You can see that Zambia is strategically located right in the middle of Africa. And it's accessible by road, by air, and by rail. And this makes us a focal point on the African continent. That's why I called it the gateway. We are also at the center of two regional markets. We have SADC, which has a population of over 277 million people, and COMESA with a population of about 459 million people. So when you invest in Zambia, because of our strategic location, you actually have, ladies and gentlemen, access to over 700 million potential markets on the African continent. And if you forget as to where Zambia is, I want to tell you that we are home to the mighty Victoria Falls. I'm sure there's nobody in this room who has not heard about the Victoria Falls. This is the 7th natural wonder of the world. And our managing director, Zambia National Tourist Board, will later this morning be telling you more about our tourist attractions. Just now, all I want to tell you is this, that if you invest in Zambia, we'll give you free access to the Victoria Falls. You heard that our largest investment so far has been in copper mining. And at one time, we were the second copper producer in the whole world. Because of certain logistics, we dropped a little bit. We are now 8th in the world, but rising. And in Africa, we are the second after the Congo. And I want to tell you that there are new major investments taking place in Zambia now, particularly in the northwestern part of our country. There are greenfield mines using new technology, and we are targeting by the end of next year, 2015, we should be producing 1 million tons of copper per annum. That should take us back to the top of the pile. Our population is about 14.1 million people. So it's not a congested country. It is very comfortable. And we have so much land, 752,000 square kilometers rather, with a GDP of 24.7 billion United States dollars. And as you heard from our ambassador, currently doing about 6.6% in GDP. Other countries, including South Africa, they're doing 2-3%. So the choice is yours. Where do you want to place your money? I also want to show you that in terms of foreign exchange reserves, we are very comfortable to meet our commitments. And we stand at 1.9 billion United States dollars as of December 2013. In terms of world rating as an economic entity, I've cited 3 top-ranking rating organizations, Moody's, Fitch, and S&P. And all of them have cited us, rated us above B. Some of them B+, as you can see, Fitch and S&P. In terms of inflation, for an African economy, this is outstanding. We've been doing single-figure inflation rate. And this year, as of July, according to the Consumer Price Index, we were at 8%. Very comfortable for business here. Now, one of the things that we pride ourselves in is that we have a very stable political and social environment. The Mo Ibrahim Index has rated 52 African countries, and in 2012, Zambia was ranked 16th. Today, we are ranked the 12th. Before the 2014 is out, I'm sure we can move to single figure as well. That's the nature of the governance situation in Zambia. I've also flagged here some political performance indicators. We have a very mature democracy. We have moved in 50 years through 5 presidents, all of whom have been democratically elected. And we have moved through 3 political parties. It shows the maturity of the democracy in our country. And we've never had political or civil strife. Now let's look at the economic performance of this wonderful country, Zambia, to which you are coming to invest. First of all, in terms of economic growth, you can see the progression from 2003. Our growth rate was at 5.1%, and you can see how it has been growing to the present. Very, very significant economic growth over a sustainable period of 10 years. 2014, we're looking at 7.8%. In terms of foreign direct investment, and as you know, foreign direct investment reflects investor confidence in a country. And this is how our country has performed, again, over the last 10 years. There is no time when we have no inflows of foreign direct investment. And it has steadily been growing, except for 2008, 2009, when, as you will recall, we had the world economic recession. So we were affected. But we began to pick up again. And then in 2011, we are very honest with our figures. 2011, that's the year we had our last elections. And you know what happens? Investors hold back until the elections are through. And boom, up we went again. And now standing at the high figure of 1.7 billion United States dollars for 2013. The World Bank rates various economies in terms of the ease with which it is to do business. And Zambia has always been rated very highly. At the moment, we are 5th in sub-Saharan Africa and 3rd among SADC countries. After number 1 is Mauritius and South Africa is 2nd in terms of the ease to do business. And we are the 3rd. Another range of indicators, economic indicators. 10 years ago, if you see this panel here, this was the 10 fastest growing economies in the world, and Zambia was not there, as at 2001 to 2010. Now see what has happened to 2011 to 2015. Zambia is right there as number 9 on the second panel on this side. There is Zambia. Now, what are the investment opportunities available in Zambia? We have indicated that we have prioritized a number of economic sectors. One is agriculture. And I know that Poland is very strong in agriculture. So we're inviting you to extend your expertise to invest with us in agriculture. We have flagged here a number of agricultural projects. We have a number of farm blocks which have been earmarked by the Zambian government for agribusiness and so on. This particular one, Nansanga, in the Mukushi area, it's a huge farm block, and it's available. There is another one of timber plantation, 50,000 hectares, grain storage facilities, and generally in every province we have a farm block of 100,000 hectares. I was discussing with one of the gentlemen here, prospective investors, talking about producing tractors, for instance. And I know that the quality of Poland tractors are very high. But also, they are not only of good quality, but very cost efficient. We invite you to come because our agricultural sector needs support. And tractor, as you know, anybody who has done any farming will know that a tractor is a key to own on a farm. In terms of infrastructure, you know, we used to say that Zambia was landlocked. In other words, we are surrounded by 8 different countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Zambia is no longer landlocked. We say Zambia is land-linked, because you have linkages to all these countries. What better place to be than Zambia? Because you can move by road, by rail, to all these 8 countries surrounding us to expand your markets. And so we have a project which the President announced called Road Link. 8,000 of kilometers are to be upgraded to first-class road standard. And this project was financed partly through the Eurobond that we secured 2 years ago. We also are developing railway lines. For instance, the railway line from Zambia's Copper Belt to Angola. We used to have a railway line there in the old days, but during the civil strife in Angola, that line became unserviceable because of landmines and so on. We're building a totally new railway